Hey everyone, Clint Butler here, and thank you for joining me. This video is going to talk about Breadcrumb Schema. What is Breadcrumb Schema? Why would you use it? And some use cases in regards to schema and building a structure to your website. At the end of the day, breadcrumbs are probably one of the most simplest concepts out there in regards to everyone sees them, and you're like, what do I need that for? Right. And so the one of the things is use cases. So let's say you have a website and it's built into a structure. We'll go posts, categories, pages. You have a post, a blog about marketing. You have a category about digital marketing, and then maybe even a subcategory about SEO, and then you have a page. And you build out everything in a physical silo, i.e. using your URLs in the categories, i.e. directories, subdirectories, system to structure it all. Breadcrumb setup will interlink that structure. So if you're on that page, it'll show you your subcategory page, and then it'll also link to your category page. And you can even go so far as to link to the home page in that whole breadcrumb structure. The other way to do it is, let's say you're doing something like Solterra, for example. It's a digital agency, and they have their website busted up into sections. So if you land on their web design, one of their web design landing pages, you're pretty stuck in that web design funnel. You can't bounce around from web design to PPC or whatever unless you go to the home page and you start a new path. They're not interlinked. That'll be another good use of breadcrumbs and breadcrumb schema. Another example would be if you're setting up local pages. You have a website. Let's say you're targeting Phoenix, and you do little sub pages for all of the neighborhoods, and then maybe, or some other geo related, things to do type posts. To build a geo silo, you can use breadcrumbs to interconnect your geo silo. These don't have to be solely dedicated only to the display of the website, though, which is really beneficial for us, is because you can just do it in JSON, and you can figure out those silo structures and figure out all the internal linking and customize your breadcrumbs. The problem really is value versus time. If you do all that stuff that I just said, you will get the structure will be known. But if you're also building your websites like that, typically the URL structure is going to take care of it in regarding the steps, right? It's going to tell Google that, this is a page in this subdirectory that is primary of this directory, et cetera. And Google will follow that around. So do you really need, and from a user perspective, think about it logically. When's the last time you really consistently clicked on breadcrumbs that you saw on the website? Maybe in an e-com store for sure, but on a blog, probably not in quite some time. Right. So you have to take that into consideration is are you going to go beyond and do all that? I will say that I choose not to do that. I use SEO Press Pro, and I'll show you right here. SEO Press Pro, you just turn it on and then enable JSON breadcrumbs, and then I'm done with it. The only thing that I don't like is that they don't let me set an ad ID being for the page. So if you put ad ID and then breadcrumbs for the page in this, it would be perfect. But other than that, this is more than enough to build the interlinking of your categories and subcategories and all that if you're using directory stuff. If you're like me and you don't use permalinks of categories inside of your URL structure and you just homepage blog post, then this is definitely not worth doing in regards to doing it manual. Just let your plugins take care of it. If you want to play around with silo structures and all that, sure. But if you're dealing, if you're dealing with a big site, you're not going to do that. So just let this do it and be done with it. But you can make these in Rankgear. I'll show you. Go in here, hit Breadcrumb. Here's your URL in your position 1, and essentially you 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have 4 positions, then you're good, and you can set up custom breadcrumbs on your pages for silo structure, etc. That may or may not help you. Honestly, I don't think it's worth the bang for the buck to do all that manual stuff with these, but there's plenty of testing that could be done to see if it's working now versus back before, etc. So just consider it. Breadcrumbs. Use breadcrumbs in Rankgear if you want to practice with the silos. This would be perfect for testing. Create a breadcrumb for your testing and do set up a silo and see how it goes. You can probably change. Another test I want to do is actually adding a breadcrumb where you mimic your tiers for your backlinks and then put this on your tier 3, and then it links to tier 2 and tier 1 in your money page, and see if that works. That might be interesting. But there's so many opportunities to test, and there's so many ways that this could be useful. But at the end of the day, my suggestion is to just stick with a plugin and be done with it. All right, so hopefully that helps with the breadcrumb schema. This post that we did, you'll see it right here. Tons of examples and different things you can do, different platforms or whatever. This is a really long post, and you would be surprised because it's breadcrumbs. But, I mean, it works out, and there's a lot of information here for you. If you're interested and you want to go more down that rabbit hole. But we will be doing some more testing on breadcrumbs and, where can we leverage it? What's the best way to do it? Is it even worth doing it all? That kind of stuff in the future. So hope you enjoy this, and thank you.